Hello, guys. Welcome to a brand new episode of HelioPychosis podcast. If you're watching us from YouTube, make sure you comment, like, and share, subscribe if you're not. And welcome, guys. Leave your comments. And a big shout out to everyone who join us most of the time. And if you're watching us from HelioPychosis Facebook group, make sure you allow StreamYard for your name to appear because if you comment, we can't see your name when we highlight the comments. And welcome, guys. And if you're same for everyone, if you're watching from Flat Earth Research Network group, welcome, guys, and leave your comments too. And welcome everyone to who are watching us from realtruthseekers.com. And let's get on with our tonight's show. We have some special guests. First, joining me is our host, as always, the star of Flatten the Curve, the helicopter pilot, my good friend Rob Taylor. Welcome, Rob. How are you, brother?
Yes, thank you, Vika. Thanks for the invitation. Glad to be here. Thanks to Ron and Gene and Mark and everybody else. As always, thanks to Vika, the guru of Flat Earth, the Flat Earth guru.
Welcome, brother. It's a pleasure to have you always. Our next guest is my co-host, second co-host, Jeannie. Jeannie, brother, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Hello, everybody. Can't think of a better way to spend a Friday night. Thank you so much for being here and having me.
It's a pleasure, brother, always to have you too. Welcome.
Thank you.
And our next guest is an author. We know him also very well, an author of Flat Truth, also a star of Flatten the Curve, and also my good friend Mark Hollander. Brother, how are you?
Buddy, I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Vic. If I was doing any better, there'd be two of me, and that'd probably be too dangerous for everybody. But hello, Rob. Hello, Gene. Hello, Ronald. Vika, thank you for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be part of my brothers from another mother. And hopefully we have a great show, and I know we will, with you leading it. And thank you so much again for Flatten the Curve. And you are the guru, like Rob would suggest, of Flat Earth.
We all are, brother. We all are, brother. Thank you, brother. And our special guest tonight, what we would say about our special guest, he does so many things. He have around 4 or 5 books about screenwriting, scripts. He's also done a movie in Hollywood called Hollywood and Vines. He's an actor, director, producer. He's also into some alternative stuff like fasting and many interesting things. He runs a show called The Ronald Show on Rumble. Ronald, welcome, brother. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. That's a great introduction. I really appreciate you guys letting me on the show, especially with all these other panelists. It's going to be interesting. We're going to get into the real world, I think, flip things upside down on people.
It's a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Thank you.
Before we get inside, a big shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Dr. Frankenstein, Johannes Fake,
Dave.
Elvin Gold, we got Karen B, we got THC, Truth Hour of Comedy.
All right.
And we got Gianni, we got Carl Fletcher. Hey, Carl Fletcher, welcome, brother. So let's start with Ronald. Ronald, you sent me that amazing video of yours about fasting. That's something really alternative that we have not spoken about, and we were really interested to have some idea about it. Would you share some light about that, about fasting and how it helps?
Yeah, I originally started looking at ways to create longevity for myself, to live a long time. I had a palm reader tell me I was going to live to be 86, and I was like, that's just not enough to accomplish all my goals, So I decided I want to live to be 10 times that age, so 860. And so I started looking at ways to increase my lifespan, and one of them I discovered was fasting. I thought, and I learned, the faster your metabolism, the faster your heart rate, the more you're eating and metabolizing, the faster you're going to age and get sick. So I decided to kind of reverse it from 3 meals a day down to I'm working on 1 meal every 3 days. So I love it. And it's really, and the main thing that fasting does is it gives you autophagy.
Mm.
It results in autophagy in your body. And autophagy means that your body is this intelligent mechanism that goes through and cleans out all the stuff. If your body's constantly having to work on digesting toxic substances that you're shoving down your face hole every day, 3 times a day, then you're just not going to have the time to give your body the chance to do autophagy and keep you clean and healthy and youthful and limber and not inflamed.
Wow.
Like it's like stressing the system, like the whole body system by overfeeding and overworking. So it really
Yes.
affects your mind and your body and physically and mentally. So
Oh yeah, totally. I've decided to go the opposite direction and slow my metabolism. I got off the caffeine, so I'm not drinking coffee or any energy drinks. I'm not eating any dead cooked animals, and I'm
Very nice.
eating once every day and a half to 2 days right now. And I'm going to get it up to once every 84 hours, which is twice a week.
What kind of stuff
right,
do you
right.
eat?
I eat raw vegan, so anything that's a fruit or vegetable, I'll eat it. I mainly to get my fats and proteins. I use avocados and kale and spinach, and I
Wow.
drink an electrolyte powder. There's a really great fasting doctor online I discovered on YouTube, Dr. Eric Berg, Berg, and he has an electrolyte powder out there that's keto and fasting friendly. And if you're keeping your electromagnetic body electrically balanced with electrolytes regularly, then your body's not going to hold on to as much body fat either, especially if you have enough potassium and sodium and calcium and magnesium. So
And
I'm really into it.
do you monitor your
Hey,
portions?
No, I don't. I just
Okay,
eat until I don't feel like eating anymore.
great.
And
Do you notice
Hey
that
that's
Ronald, hey
decreasing?
Ronald, I have a question. Hey
yeah.
Ronald, this is Mark. Boy, you kind of sound like our founder of Free Earth Radio, Russell the Bird. He recently went on a 22-day fast, and your diet is very similar in nature to what Russ did. In fact, he actually did an interview with us, and the only reason why he quit his fast because after the 22nd day, it was a water fast. He
Mm.
actually fell on the kitchen and hit his head, and
Yeah.
one of his relatives
Yeah.
came and found him on the ground after 22-day water
And
fast.
see,
So that
that's
was
the
That's
thing with the
dangerous.
electrolyte powders. Electrolytes. Sometimes it's about electrolytes. Tell Russ I say hi, and also tell Flat Earth Radio to tell him I say hi. But if he's going to do more fast like that, consider staying electrically balanced with electrolyte powder.
right, absolutely, absolutely. And he actually sells something called electromeds.com, and he's big into what you were saying. So that's why I was suggesting to you, but I felt like that Russ the Bird was actually talking. You guys are very similar. And but the avocados to get your fats, I like everything that you suggested, including
Yeah,
cilantro. I put cilantro on everything.
yeah.
So, but
And mushrooms. I
you're
like
right on
mushrooms
point.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, to have the right salts in our body is more important than eating whatever. Like we could perfectly survive with all the vegetables and all the herbs that exist and even weeds. So I believe that the more like the weeds which are we call them weeds, the plants that grow naturally are real food
Dandelions.
and medicine according to me, being
Yep.
dandelion, being there are so many different varieties just grow and everybody just throws away as weed, but they are real medicine and they are real food. They are free. For example, stinging nettles is known not only to clean your blood but it also to any problems with diuretic problems, and they have so many properties, detoxifying, and it's a free food source and a medicine source right there in front of you, a real blessing for people with problem with kidneys and all this stuff. So it's right there in front of us as a source of food and medicine, but it's been told it's a weed and it's been thrown out. So there's so many different stuff like that around in the nature that the humans could literally survive from that. So we are literally abusing what we consume because of that easy thing we could find in the markets, which has been so processed. So it's just, even if you eat the most healthiest stuff from these markets, it's not really healthy, you know. So being organic,
Mhm.
being even vegetarian and organic in this age, it's not organic.
It's
It's not
hard
Yeah.
to.
organic. You,
Organic is a big business.
That's why fasting is important too, because even if you're trying to consume organic vegetables and you're still getting pesticides and toxins, but you're decreasing how much you eat, how often you eat, at least you're getting the fiber to flush out your system and then giving your body time to process out the chemicals. That's why, you almost really cannot eat anything. And I got a lot of that idea also from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, who says, the way to become a light body is to abstain from food completely and become electric being, where you can move around through different bodies if you want.
I've tried that. I went on a fast just because I was disgusted with the food chain and what they're doing to it. So I decided about 3 years ago to try and stop eating. I was into breatharianism, and I tried. And what I did for about a year and a half was I ate probably about 20 peanuts a day, and I would go a couple days here and intermittently I would not eat at all, and I was eating some fruit, dried fruit, peaches, apples, and that was it.
How'd you feel?
and you also
I felt
you also
awesome.
appreciate, you really appreciate when you fast, because you appreciate the food. You appreciate that you're not
Yeah,
abusing it,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
the
I was
best
looking
part.
forward to that. And here's the funny thing: I try not to go to doctors, and I had to go to one. I think I might have had a hernia or something. I had to go. Um, but he hadn't seen me in 3 years, and he says, "Well, how you doing? You gained weight. What are you up to?" And I said, "Well," and I told him the story, and he just looked at me like he had no idea what to say, because I gained 3 or 4 pounds in 3 years, not eating or not
That's
eating much.
that's interesting, isn't it?
I loved it, and then but
You know,
then
they.
Thanksgiving came and ruined it everything, and I just didn't
Yeah.
really have it in me to go. It's sort of torturous. I ran into some hard times doing that. It's very mental. You got to really be stable to
Yeah,
commit
we're
to that.
immersed in a world that's constantly bombarding us with all of the things that make us want to eat and eat and eat all the
Yeah.
time. It's a social thing now. There's really nothing to do anymore that doesn't involve just let's go eat.
Yeah,
Hey, you
let's
want
go
to
out to
eat?
eat. Rest of that, we'll go to
Yeah.
dinner, go to lunch.
And then in front of the TV, you're eating mostly these days. It's just
Munching.
I see rampant obesity out there now. I umpire baseball sometimes for high school kids and young kids because I'm helping train my nephews in baseball. And oh my God, it's sad to see some of these fat kids trying to run around the ball field. It's just
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
And
it's so much sugar, it's so much of processed food in the young people, and they hook them with all their like figures and all this crap, and they want to eat so much
yeah,
of conservative and additives, and it's really impossible even for kids and even for us. But yeah, we can see the difference from the 70s, 80s to now. The
yeah,
ratio of obesity and all the sickness that it brings with it. So it's just
yeah.
unstoppable.
Yeah, my best advice for everybody is to start a fasting lifestyle and eventually work your way up to however long it takes to where you eat just once every 3 days. And then just try that. It'll change your whole life. And you'll see the rest of the world around you just shoving disgusting things into their faces.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. All the sugar's in everything. Extra
Ah,
sugar is everything, right?
it is.
People don't have the metabolism to burn it off. If they would exercise, that would be better. If they would drink a lot of water, it'd be better. But the diet most people have, they're chronically dehydrated. They eat the wrong material. They're eating the opposite of what they really need to be healthy. So most people are just living in a cesspool, in other words, especially without exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
the only sugar is good for us is the natural fruits. The rest sugars are all processed. So a fruit
Correct.
a fruit fasting could be a good start, to start off for a few days. Just fruits turns out really good, and especially when you are not well. So works pretty good.
I went to the store today and went shopping, for example, a couple of hours ago. I bought 3 avocados. I got blueberries, blackberries, cherries, and pineapple. And that's it. And I came home and ate the avocados, and I was full after that. And later on, if I get hungry, I'll just eat a bunch of pineapple, which is going to flush my system anyway and burn off fat. And it's going to cleanse my intestines. And it also tastes good. And it's going to also hydrate me. And then I won't
Pineapple's one
want
of
to
my
decide
favorites.
whether or not I'll be stuffed. I'll be, and when I wake up in the morning, I'll be even better for it.
Here's another one I want to throw out to everybody, and it's the lymph system. Everyone knows that the lymph system exists, but few people understand that the lymph system is the waste reduction system. The blood pumps nutrients in through all the body faculties, right? But the lymph is what removes all the waste. Now, for the blood, the nutrients, the heart pumps the blood, but there's nothing that pumps the lymph system. So if the regular human body, if there's nothing that pumps the lymph system, then people are literally living in their own biological waste. Now everybody can imagine the only thing that pumps the lymph system is exercise. That's moving the muscles is the only thing that pumps that lymph system. Ron, you mentioned obesity. Everybody can observe there's obesity everywhere. Well, probably 90% of that.
Lack of activity.
Yeah, lack of activity. There's something to say about walking. Like I walk and I don't really jog much anymore, but long walking, like I'm not really that religious, but in the Bible, Jesus, he walked around a lot,
It's more important to be physically normal active than going to a gym. I think so, because that's what
Gyms
is
are
like
filthy.
a natural movement. A natural human being needs to move, because you're not stressing it out anyway by pumping steroids or pumping your muscle with weights, or just doing your physical work daily could give you, keep you fit in a way, like, and not
Well,
stressing your.
I recommend everybody do the Tibetan rites. Tibetan rites, rites. These 5 movements that keep you flexible, and they keep your chakras all spinning in the same direction simultaneously, and you'll have no back pain or chakra blockages, and you'll be flexible.
I agree with that for sure. And by the way, Ronald, people in Tibet usually live longer than most anybody on Earth, and they
Yeah, I
they
learned it
seem
from
to
a
have the right acumen as far as long and enduring health. And the thing about the United States, for instance, the obesity problem, and that we're being conditioned. Most everybody in the world being conditioned not to be healthy, not to eat healthy, and
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where everybody's becoming not just cyborg, in nature with all these jabs and shots and everything, but they're dependent, trying to keep them sick and not trying to think for themselves and get out of this matrix of good health. Because why don't they promote good health? They just promoting their medicines. They promoting all this McDonald's and all this garbage. When Ronald said, "Hey, I only eat once a day," my automatic thought process was, I know he ain't eating at McDonald's. You know what I mean?
no,
And
right.
so, but heck, you know what I mean? If you promote good health, the CDC would do everybody wonders if they teach you how to keep healthy instead of promoting their garbage shots, vaccines, and keeping everybody sick. So that's the problem with 80% of the world, actually.
And the nature also is important where you live. For example, the Tibetan live longer because they live in the Himalayas. It's pure air, pure water, clean food, calm mind. All these effects, just eating or just being in the good place. So, right, go ahead.
I wonder what the Tibetans believe about the nature of reality. Like I don't really know what other parts of the world believe about reality. Like I was raised in the heliocentric model from the US of A Corporation's Department of Education in their public school systems, and
Me too.
come to find out that was just a big lie. And then even though I was raised a Catholic, I never really studied Genesis in the Bible from the perspective of a flat earther. And suddenly I was like, well, what does the creation story say? And I opened up the Bible and read Genesis, and I was like, holy
Oh.
cow, look what it says. It
There it
doesn't
is.
say anything about a spinning globe. It says right here, we're in some type of a terrarium in between waters. And this isn't a spinning globe. And that the sun and moon are these lights in the sky inside the firmament that separate day from night. So what the heck is going on? Why is the Department of Education making up a blatant lie and then faking it? And where our taxpayer money is paying for the fake NASA program. It's just, that's why I don't pay taxes. I'm not paying taxes. They're going to have to come and pull them out of my pockets. They bring a lot of people to do it too.
I have to get that book you wrote about that.
What, The Solution?
Yes.
Yeah, The Solution is all about securitizing. Okay, it's simple. You're born. Your parents signed a financial document, a negotiable instrument called a birth bond, and they give this original, the master document. They give it to the vital statistics office in the county of the state where you were born, and then they keep it and they make copies and they send one to DC, to the US of A Corporation in Washington, the District of Columbia, and then they send the other one to the Brussels, Belgium, to the International Monetary Fund, where that shows now that the US of A Corporation has taken control over your credit. And they now control your credit because they have your birth bond. And the local state has taken control of your physical vessel. So the local police use your vessel as the surety against that bond. That's why they can haul you around through their warehousing system into jail.
Right.
And so my book tells you how to securitize your birth bond for your credit and discharge everything, any debt, and then you're a sovereign, and then securitize your name on the record with the county recorder. You write down your name on a document and you give it to the county recorder so that they can put it into the official record, and it goes public. Once you file a document on the record with a county recorder and they file it and you get a recording number, 30 days later that becomes law. So if you record your name, you record your name as your property. Now, no police officer or IRS can use your name without your written permission or paying your fee for the use of your name. That's basic negotiable, equitable contracts. And that's it. Then you're sovereign, and then you're free, and then you're just, nobody can trespass on your name or on your credit, and then that's it. And then everybody can do that, and then boom, no war and poverty anymore. That was the bottom line. I wanted to end it and figured it out.
That makes us as the individual as sovereign as the corporation that they're running from Washington, D.C. Isn't that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, you're sovereign. The Washington, right? The US of A is a corporation in Washington, the District of Columbia. I mean, it even states it in the Declaration of Independence. It states it in the in the preamble of the Constitution, because the preamble is the executive summary, and that Constitution is really the articles of incorporation of a company. And so it says in there, hey, we're doing this, that, and the other thing: welfare, defense, tranquility, all the stuff that they're doing. Even Trump talked about it. Trump knows what he's talking about when he's talking about the basic things in the preamble of their articles of incorporation, speaking directly to the corporation, like, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're spending money on police, welfare, military, all this stuff that it says.
Space Force.
But you as an individual is also corporation: person, individual, resident, citizen, domiciled, and taxpayer. Those 6 terms are terms for a corporation. If you say you're an individual, they're calling you that capitalized name. That's a corporation that you, the physical being, are the surety for.
The living man.
You're a sovereign, period, based on your ability to negotiate and conditionally accept offers.
So, Ronald, how is that book called, so that people can check it out if they're interested?
It's called The Solution: An Instruction Manual for Sovereignty and Freedom. It's on Amazon. And if you buy the book and then you email me, because my email address is in there, all the documentation to file and the directions to file are in that book. So instead of having to type out all these documents, just email me and I'll send you the documents, because the security agreement is a 28-page document and the power of attorney general is 2 pages, but I have them already pre-formatted. So I email them to whoever emails me, and then they start the process of becoming free.
Well, buy the book, everybody.
Yeah, buy the book.
That's right. Hey, Ronald,
Hey,
when's
and
the last time you've been
on
to
Kindle.
Arkansas?
I haven't been to Arkansas for over a year now. I mean, since I got to Arkansas and left Arkansas, I haven't been back. But at any time when the zombie apocalypse hits full speed, as everyone starts falling out from what just happened, then
Right.
I'm going to head straight to Diamond Cave in Harrison, Arkansas, and go underground there. And you guys are welcome to meet up at the Ozark Cafe.
Yeah. We might join you, buddy, because it looks like it's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that suddenly they would drop that whole thing on us out of the blue? Because I came back from Arkansas because I wanted to get with family and stuff. But then everybody bought the whole idea with the thing that they bought, from Gates, and suddenly everyone took it. 200 million people was the number I heard took it. And it's like, oh my God, there's 330 million people in the United States, and it's going to get sick in the next 3 to 10 years. It's going to be the grossest thing ever. It's what Albert Pike wrote in the letter to Mazzini when they described the 3 world wars. We're in that 3rd world war now. It's going to be hopelessness.
It is against us. People don't realize. They think it's going on over there right now between those 2 places near the Mediterranean, but it's really against everybody.
And another World War III does not have an end. It only ends when they attain complete control.
When the Georgia Guidestones have been complete.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Ronald, one thing about the United States, it's only 60-40, like 62 to 38%. So you actually have almost 40% of Americans that will not or have not taken the jab. So it's
now here's look, and here's the issue with all that. Everybody knows what the red states are and what the blue states are. The thing is that the Department of Defense of the US of A Corporation, Northern Command, is headquartered right in the center of the United States in Colorado, right there at the base of Cheyenne Mountain. And every state in the United States has several military bases. So what's going to happen? Okay, fine. 60% die. Now there's 40% who are still saying no. Fine. Now they just roll out the military, round everybody up, put us on military bases, and clean sweep. Done. That's why one of the things I'm trying to do is get everybody to kind of quit the military, because they're going to or at least make these soldiers realize that at some point they might be asked to turn their weapons on United States citizens. Because the United States is under military occupation by the United States of America's Defense Department, headquartered in Northern Command in Colorado. We have every command has an area of responsibility: Central Command, Special Operations Command, Southern Command, Pacific Command. Northern Command's area of responsibility, where it does intelligence collection, is the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And so we are literally being surveilled, and they're violating the 1974 Privacy Act by using their J2 intelligence section to actively collect intelligence against every citizen or living soul in their area of responsibility. And that's criminal. We're under military occupation.
Just gonna say hello to people in the chat. We have Wide Awake. Hello, brother. Welcome. We have Rachel Everson. Welcome, Rachel. Then we've got Cindy Holland. Welcome, Cindy. A big shout out to you. Then we got DN, and we have got Real Truth Seekers. Yes, people, make sure you check out our independent platform, Real Truth Seekers video.com. We can rts.video. And speaking about book, Ronald, you should join our independent platform called Real Truth Seekers, and you can put your books there. You can put it for free. You want to sell them, you can open your own shop. If you create videos, your shows, you can link your videos, and It's an amazing site where you have a reach for everything censored. You can find there. So it's a big community. We are growing together. Every kind of content, be it about any subject. So do make sure, Ronald, you join us there on Real Truth Seekers.
Count me
You're
in.
gonna love it.
I'm in. I will do that tonight.
So
Super.
that's awesome. And speaking about books, Ronald, so which other books have you written apart from that? Because you've written few books.
Yeah, I wrote a book called The Second Coming of the Messiah, book 1, The Awakening, about how the Messiah
Oh,
becomes the Messiah.
yeah. This one we wanted that you could elaborate also a bit when about.
Well, I created the Messiah character. I mean, the Messiah character's been around. Everybody's waiting for the Messiah to come back. But nobody wrote the book about the story. Like, Superman. How was Superman created? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to control the Messiah character and write the narrative so that the narrative is that the human race doesn't get totally slaughtered by the Illuminati. And so it doesn't look like it's totally working right now, but I'm writing this 3-part book series and movie series. So the first book was The Second Coming of the Messiah, book 1, The Awakening. And book 2 is already written. I just haven't published it yet. It's called The Second Coming of the Messiah, book 2, The Rapture, where everybody, I'm just waiting to see how it all plays out. I'm going to write it posthumously. And then The Second Coming of the Messiah, book 3, 1,000 Years of Peace, which I want that to spin off into a series of books and a episodic about the Messiah post the apocalypse and how we build into and experience this 1,000 years of peace. So that's what that's about. And the
Wow.
book, the movie Hollywood and Vine ties in with the Messiah. That is a sequel to The Second Coming of the Messiah. Right after the Messiah becomes the Messiah in Washington, D.C. and leaves and writes the book, The Second Coming of the Messiah, she goes to Hollywood to get it made into a movie, and then stops Islamic radical terrorists from detonating a dirty nuclear bomb at the Hollywood and Vine train station in the movie Hollywood and Vine. So that's a Messiah story.
All right, guys. So make sure, is it already released, right?
Yeah, the book, The Second Coming of the Messiah, book 1, The Awakening, is on Amazon in paperback and Kindle.
No, the movie is already out.
Hollywood and Vine, the movie, is already out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's about the Messiah right after she leaves the Washington, D.C. and has become the Messiah and has this Kundalini experience and goes through this intellectual awakening where she realizes that the Department of Defense is just, invading the whole world. She goes and experiences what happens in Hollywood and Vine.
I saw some of
Excellent.
the
Yeah, guys.
I saw some of the common attractions for that in between your video today. Very
Oh
interesting.
yeah, the trailer's out there.
Yes.
I discuss fasting in that too. Like, there's the
Right.
reptilian shapeshifter in there, and he's like, "What do you guys shove pig and beef and cow and all this stuff in the face and all of it?" And it's just this rant. So I threw as many elements in there that I could, because I'm not being censored. I'm not working for a studio, so I don't have the CIA trying to draft my scripts to continue this propaganda campaign to get everybody to program themselves to just kill themselves and be stupid.
So that was supposed to be my next question. So how did you were into Hollywood before and then you become an author, or was it vice versa? How did that happen a little bit?
Well, I was working for the Department of Defense as a Pathfinder trainer. I was training Special Forces analysts at Headquarters Special Operations Command in 2006, and I resigned because I had put in a anti-terrorism plan to stop terrorist activity worldwide, and they wouldn't accept it, so I resigned. And then I wrote The Second Coming of the Messiah and decided to take down to end war and poverty by fixing this whole situation of what's going on. And so I've been working the whole time to figure it out, and now I finally did it and figured it out for the book The Solution. And so I've been working full force on that ever since. And so I moved to Hollywood, and I wrote Hollywood and Vine after I wrote The Second Coming of the Messiah, because I wanted to shoot a movie in Hollywood while I was there. And so I came up with a little idea. It sparked with the scene on the escalator where the Russian double agent says, she's on the phone and she says, "I'm at the Vine in Hollywood Station," and then the Messiah, yeah, and the Messiah says, "It's Hollywood and Vine, you silly Russian. Why don't you learn how we speak here?" And they get into a fight, and then they team up, and then they save the world. Yeah,
That looks really interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to make it interesting, like a train wreck.
Awesome.
I wanted people to be tuned in.
Right. You want to add something, Rob, Mark, before we take a break?
No, nothing from me. I'm just listening. Well said.
Rob,
All
how's your
right.
kids doing
Mark.
over there?
Yep, my boy's
What's
doing
up,
really
bud?
well. We got 3 years now. He's doing well.
I'm
Thanks.
doing all
Awesome.
right. How are you?
Awesome.
I like your beard, bro. You all right? Good to see you.
That Carter, how do you tell? Carl Fletcher says how you tell the population is going down is pay attention to the traffic on the road.
Sucks.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I only
kind of
have
think that they
checks.
started this 6 foot
Right.
separation and this 6 foot apart social
$50
distancing
check,
thing
whatever.
early so that we wouldn't notice when there
From
was
Regis
so
Bank.
full of a population. Like they kind of separated us out early, so we're not used to seeing a lot of people, and we're used to just
You
hanging
remember
out
it's
with
that
our
unit
friends
right
and
there.
family.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And now what? If everybody starts dying off,
Yeah.
then what? We're not going to really notice because we're already used to not being around a lot of people.
Who's that?
and
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
the heart, the
Should be
electromagnetic.
relatively clean.
I think the electromagnetic readings from the heart can be read 6 feet away from another person, so that's why the 6 feet comes in.
Oh yeah, that's also another good reason. Yeah, the military government, they don't usually just do one thing for one reason. When they're running an operation, they got multiple
They
things that they're
bombard
working.
you with it, right?
Yeah, and they got a lot of different outcomes that they want and different departments working on those outcomes. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's that this is generating a lot of bottom lines and tasks that they're running against us to get to their ultimate goal of, like what Albert Pike said, destroy Christianity and Islam, and then they're going to bring out the Luciferian doctrine, which I think the Lucifer doctrine is going to tell everybody that we're living in some type of a simulation, and that it's a light-based simulation, and that all these religions has been like, just a control mechanism, and that we're light beings, like in the movie The Matrix, the fourth one now, Resurrections, that's been out with Keanu Reeves, and he finds Trinity. And in the end, they realize, hey, we're in a simulation, but we can learn to control what happens to us as individuals or living souls in this simulation and just have a good time and fly around. So that's one of the things I thought about with fasting is like, well, if I'm going to be here and I want to live like 1,000 years and have a good time and learn how to fly around and just do whatever, and and try and help other people have a good life also by being free instead of suffering, which we've been put into this terrarium of suffering by these forces of evil and the shadow governments and the overt governments and who knows what the bloodlines that are controlling things, and the Federal Reserve and the International Monetary Fund, and what other beings might have been here for thousands of years controlling us that we don't even know about with technology we don't understand and can't fathom. It's sick.
So you
and
think
twisted.
we are in a prison, Ronald? So you think we are in a kind of prison in this reincarnation here?
Well, yes, I think as you can only walk so far in one direction until someone's going to stop you and make you pay or have a license or not going to let you go any further. So yeah, it's a prison. We're in a prison of prisons of prisons. I think it's a Russian doll of prisons, and mental prisons, physical prisons, intellectual prisons, language
emotional.
prison. Yeah, all of it. Credit prison.
Financial prison. Sure, right.
And a domed prison. And then, country borders prisons. You can't go to all the countries you want to right now unless someone gives you permission. That's slavery. That's a prison.
Takes you 10 years to move out of this country.
Well, that's divide and control. So, yeah.
Divide and control.
Exactly.
Yes. Divide and conquer. That is. Divide, conquer, and control. There you go.
It's like a matrix on top of a matrix on top of a matrix on top of a real world.
Yeah.
Somewhere the real world
Yeah.
is here, and they don't.
You know, a thousand of. Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Nah, it could be really simple too. All these little things that we need to know could be so simple. You mix two plants and you will never have cancer again, kind of idea.
Yeah.
And if
Stop
we don't
eating
know
for
it, we might
72
never
hours
figure it
and you
out.
won't have cancer. Right.
Very difficult to
Hey, Ronald,
and
I
then
have
you
a
got the
question,
fake.
Ronald.
Yeah.
You know, when you said it's a matrix on top of a matrix on top of a matrix, they at a point now that, yeah, we always have truth in plain sight. But think about this. They don't even care if we know, the ones that wake up, because the divide and conquer agenda, they
Right.
play both sides of the equation. So they honestly
control
do
so
not
much.
care that we know.
Yeah, I
Because
agree. It's getting more and more blatant.
We are so few that know. Nobody else will even listen to us.
You're right.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, they
right.
think
We've
we're
already been
nuts. They think we're
labeled.
crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
we're
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists.
I think they
truth is
knew that
powerful.
too. By the time, like Darwin said, by the time these people figure out that the Cambrian explosion is impossible in evolution, it's going to be too late.
Yep.
And they don't care if we know.
Nobody even cares to look, right? Here we are preaching it from the rooftops, but they don't even care to look and analyze.
Nah, you know,
Well,
and when they
yeah.
let the internet out, they knew that we were going to have this information. They knew it. So,
Right.
but
you know
they
what,
wanted it for
Ronald,
their own reasons also.
as far as Darwinism is concerned, half the human population might have evolved from monkeys. I mean, when I'm looking around
Honestly,
me, you know
right?
what I mean?
if you
I know
well,
I didn't. I came
here's
from my
what I
creator,
think.
but half of these people.
Look at what we really are, though. From lips to anus, we're just this one long worm surrounded by a bunch of, arms and legs that have grown over the years to get us from point A to point B. I think we are worms. We've evolved from worms, and we're still like a worm. Maybe a snake is another term for it. Maybe that's what it's all about too. We are these serpents, snakes, worms, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you look at us, we're dressed up pretty and there's lipstick on us, but we're from lips to anus, just this one tube bound up inside of a shell.
Kind of like where we live, even. It's a big ecosystem.
Yeah.
A little different, but similar.
We go right back into
I think that's why many ancient culture they have the symbol of serpents, because it's one of the most basic life form in a way, apart from being a bacteria, but could be anything, so we humans, as
we're
spirit,
serpents.
if you put
we are
the
these
soul, if we add the soul in there and the spirituality and our consciousness, so it really, because being a tree, being an animal, being a element, a mineral, or light, or a star, everything could be possible that we could reincarnate in. So it's quite complex to understand that.
Yeah,
I would believe that. I said to my niece like 15 years ago, I want to be a rock and sit here for 200,000 years.
She runs the fan and the heater, but not the AC.
Yeah, and just do that. Just imagine the perspective you would gain as a rock that just sits there for 200,000 years and has consciousness.
Right. And the snow doesn't bother you. The rain doesn't bother you. The lichen doesn't bother you. Well, yeah, I like those kind of thoughts.
I've been really studying what's been going on with CERN, the European Center for Nuclear Research, where they deploy the Hadron Collider, and they're smashing protons together in an attempt to find the Higgs boson particle, or the God particle.
Right. Yeah, they're a problem, those guys.
And what they're saying is that every single thing in your awareness, to include you, me, everything, is just made up of these photons, which are just fields of energy. They're not even particles. We're not even the solid physical things. We're just these tiny little balls of electromagnetic energy that are not even touching each other. And we're just apparently physical. Just through these senses, we're just transcribing this light waves into apparent physical. It's just such a, if you look at it for
That's
real
great.
like that, it's just amazing to realize you're having this experience. And it's not real. I don't know what it is. It's hard to, it's just duality. It's like real and unreal at the same time.
You're right. This world is a very duality world. Day and night, front and back, up and down. You're either awake or
Guys, we're gonna
asleep.
take a short break and we're gonna continue. Right, it's a very interesting conversation going. Just a short break.
Okay. Awesome. I'll be here waiting.
Yep,
Gotcha, brother.
we're gonna be back.
Okay.
Mark, could you unmute your mic? Mute your mic, please, brother.
No, they were coming out tomorrow. I wanted to give you the business.
My name is Joshua Silva. I am a licensed commercial pilot and flight instructor. I have had a lifelong love of aviation and aerospace, and when growing up I even fancied myself an amateur astronomer.
You ain't have no pictures or nothing.
Number one, y'all
ain't have no pictures or nothing.
fly out of Rhode Island for the same topic. Bottom line here is they're going to give you some type of formula for every 100 miles. They're going to give you some type of XYZ per kilometer squared.
Been in aviation for 21 years. Anything from helicopters to aerostats to big birds, little birds, fighter jets, things with engines, no engines, big blades, little blades, compressor blades. I woke up to the truth of the flat earth, shape of the earth, as an engineer and a pilot.
I'm a merchant marine. I've been sailing 15 years. I graduated from the Paul Hall Maritime Center out of Piney Point, Maryland. I primarily sail on container ships, tankers, drill ships, military cargo vessels, you name it, I can sail on it.
Work experience. I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old. I had a secret security clearance. There's different levels of security clearance. There's like a lower level, then there's a secret, which is what I had.
Be providing my in-depth experience of U.S. Navy submarines and how they prove we do not live on a globe Earth. However, due to the nature of my job and the security clearance that I hold, I wish to remain anonymous.
Whoa, that is Flatten the Curve. Welcome back, guys. So we have heard from two sources today that Flatten the Curve was removed from Facebook from two sources. Okay, it's still running on my page and on Rob's page, but that two people have told us that they're taken down today. The Flatten the Curve. So make sure, guys, check it out and see it before it's taken down. We also have shared the download link, direct download link of the documentary of Google Drive. It's a free download for anybody to watch, download, or upload anywhere they want. So make sure, guys, Flatten the Curve. It's making big waves everywhere. So we are back with our guests. Right now we have got Jeannie and our special guest Ronald. Ronald, so before we get into your experience as how you realize the flat Earth and this, did you watch the movie Flatten the Curve?
Yes, I did. I've pretty much watched every flat Earth video or movie that you can watch. Yeah, so I watched it definitely. I think I watched it more than once and shared it a lot. My dog.
It's worth a couple watches. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I learned a lot because I just, every time I watch any kind of video about it, I'm always like comparing all the different bits of data and information. And I just want to, learn everything I can, because a lot of there's a whole world out there that's fighting against the flat earth getting out. And there's like I believe the J2 in Northern Command is using interactive internet activity trolls in their IIA office to go out there and on social media just badmouth everybody. Because I belong to dozens, I probably belong to 50 at least, flat earth groups on different social media platforms. And I regularly post in those. And I see that there's a lot of just auto trolls coming in there and just smash like it's just these auto bots, and I think it's
like reckless.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been having problem lately with one group. Jeannie knows, Rob knows, Mark knows that one of the groups that got infiltrated with bots, and they were just booting everybody, and especially flat earthers. And yeah, you cannot believe the way they comment and the way they write things. You cannot believe they are bots. And I've had personal problem on my videos sometimes, like I was arguing with some fake globy pilots, on my videos about planes and stuff. And I was arguing for weeks, and then I realized, man, these people are not human. They are freaking bots.
Yeah, there's no reason to
So
argue. When they make a comment on my thing, if a bot shows, this is what I do. I just standard practice. As soon as I see a bot comment, I just paste another link of one of my videos, and then they'll make a negative comment on that. And I just keep posting links to my videos and my books and stuff until they shut up, and then or until I feel like blocking them. And that's all. Because if people are tracking that conversation, all they're going to see is more of my stuff. And that's fine. I just use them in my favor. And so it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't get angry or argue.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of
it's
had a
better.
few arguments with them. It's an exercise in futility.
That's what you guys should do. You get into a chat room, Mark, just put in Free Earth Radio, just like anytime you're arguing, instead of even arguing, just drop your link, Free Earth Radio or Flatten the Curve. Just keep dropping that link until eventually they will stop, because it's not working. If you just market yourself off of their negative comments, it's turning into your positive.
Excellent. I'm going to try that.
Everybody in the
Exactly,
world
and
should do that. Don't argue. Just paste more links to your stuff that makes you feel good. And that's it. Don't argue. In fact, I learned that in legal English. Argument is dishonorable and can go on. You have one or two ways. You can conditionally accept or accept their offer. You can accept it by saying nothing or just going away and letting it die on the vine. And then just, okay, whatever you say, that's it. It's over. No more argument. Sure, whatever you say, no argument. Or, well, here's what I say back. Boom, my link. Here's what I say back. Boom. Now you're conditionally accepting and you're not arguing, and it's keeping it, equitable on both sides. It's law, it's contracting. And so you don't get angry and you stay in honor.
Nice.
Yeah, they also want to trigger you so they could report and you get banned. That's the whole idea about these bots and trolls being there in groups or on your feed, so any word they could catch on and report, that's what. And we've been used to it. Like I personally don't go and debate anymore, even though I run maybe 4 groups, and I used to debate, and it's a good way to interact. And if there's serious question and we learn things and they learn also, but but lately we are just like, just ignore, because they're reporting so much and bans and all this stuff, so it's not really worth it. Because
and there's a lot of alternative social media pages now too, and social media video sites like alternatives to YouTube. That's why I jumped off of YouTube and went into Rumble, because I'm not getting censored there and I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to jump onto y'all's site too, so that way
so you should join RTS, Ronald. You're gonna love it. There is no censorship and you're gonna feel that freedom.
Yeah, just send me
one
the
of
link.
our
I'll get signed up tonight.
Yeah, I will send you the link, and it's very easy. You don't even have to upload. You can just link your videos, even Rumble videos. You can upload directly, link directly, and you will see how much exposure you get and how it would have it doesn't work on YouTube. That's why we are not big on YouTube because of this reason, because of this shadow banning, and they don't want this kind of content. So, Ronald, tell us about your flat Earth experience, how and when and what, whatever you want to share, brother.
Well, when I was living out in the valley in Los Angeles, I was editing Hollywood and Vine, and I think it was around maybe 2015. And I just was doing research about the nature of reality, because I even put some of the mention of flat Earth in the Hollywood and Vine about how we might be living on a flat Earth. And I came across flat Earth videos while searching about the Mandela effect. And then along with that, because I was trying to figure out about 2012 and how we might have gone into a singularity and it caused the Mandela effect. And then that kind of led me toward Eric Dubé and the flat Earth video he made about 100 reasons the Earth is not a spinning globe.
200 proofs.
200 proofs. Yeah, exactly. And so suddenly I was like, oh my God, what is this? And then I just was pulled into that, and I found Martin Kinney's video with Norb's World that they put together. And then I saw this other Freemasonry video that showed how the black sun from the magnetic center below, at magnetic center near what's called the North Pole, creates the sun and moon. And
the one where he doesn't say anything?
Yeah.
You don't see his face? Yeah, that's a great video.
It's great. It made me see what the compass and square of the Freemasons is really saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a whole nother level of understanding. And suddenly I realized, and then I started following, looking at CERN and the nature of reality. And it was like, okay, we're probably in this flat toroid simulation where it's not even solid and physical. And so my whole reality paradigm was just shattered everywhere. And I'm now a flat toroid simulation earther.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a wild experience.
I have an idea to throw at you, being this simulation thing. I've been thinking about this for about 10 years, and I think I'm right, but I think this world is completely silent. That there is no real noise in this world, and it's only vibration. And if we didn't have ears, we wouldn't hear anything, right? So there's no real noise. You think that's right? I don't think
if there is no atmosphere, there is no sound traveling. There is no vibration traveling through the air.
No, it's just the vibration, though. So that's not noise. It's just vibration. Our ears interpret it as noise to the brain. That's not noise.
Right. Yeah.
So this world is completely silent, actually.
So there are people who see sounds, Have you heard about that? So we could know what it could be.
Right. Just
you know what I mean, Genie.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Just like radio waves are right in front of your face, but you don't see them, but you know they're there, because if you had a radio, you put it on, you'd catch those waves. It's the same with sound, but a little different.
Right.
But I really think that this world is completely silent, only that we have ears to interpret the sound as noise.
Well, the first thing that was created was light, and then everything is based within that. It's a signal that is carrying waves that, without interpretation, are just this unreceived signal.
Exactly, same thing.
Where is this signal coming from? Is it also the thing?
Yeah, and you don't really see light. You see light after it bounces off of things, and you see what it bounced off of.
Here's taking your idea further, is that we're not even where are the thoughts coming from in the thought realm? Because aren't we just speaking things that are thoughts, and where are the thoughts coming from? They're coming from somewhere. They're
not all our own thoughts. Some of them are, but not all of them.
But if we are speaking to ourselves, then who is listening?
What's that?
If we are speaking to ourselves, who the hell is listening? Because if we speak to ourselves,
yeah. And where do you get the answers from when you talk to yourself? Well, should I do this or that? Like some things are a little mundane, but the more serious things, like not like a sandwich or something, but the more serious things, where do we get this information from? Is right in the same area of sound and light and thoughts. It's like it's the intangible controlling the tangible.
And now most people these days aren't even giving themselves the silence to actually think. Like if you really think about, most people are constantly bombarded by either radio, their cell phone information, or television.
TV.
So there's no thinking going on. Like when I'm in my car, I don't play the radio.
Me neither.
In my bedroom, I don't have a TV and I don't get on my cell. I just lay there and think a lot of times. In my living room when I'm working, whatever, there's no background noise. I just leave myself as much in silence, honestly, as possible.
Me too, bro. I really do. I love being in silence. It's just awesome. There's so much behind your eyes. There's like the world behind your eyes is way bigger than the world we're looking at, I think. So
it's so funny because you don't realize what an impact the outside noise has on you until you take away the outside noise and then reapply it later. For instance, I'll go like a week without hearing any music, and then I'll go out with some friends and we'll go sing karaoke or something. And when I wake up the next morning in bed, a song from that night before I'll just start singing it in my head. That will be what starts playing in my head in the morning. It's like, holy cow, when that doesn't happen, unless I've gone and reprogrammed myself again or reapplied that stimulus.
That's excellent.
And if you think about rap music and hardcore rap and hip hop and what a lot of murdering on movies and TV does, it's like creating these thoughts and images as acceptable and regular in our minds.
Oh yeah.
That's why so much paranoia. Even if you watch 15 minutes of news in the day, in the middle of the day, it could really get you really hyped up, like even if there is nothing happening in the world, they will just make you. A big hello to Gutai J. Welcome, brother. Gutai J was on one of our shows. He's an ex-USMC Air Wing and was really a pleasure to have had him before, Gutai J. And the skull again. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, we could go ahead. So speaking about the electromagnetic and how it works being on a flat earth and to our human body.
Yeah, they've really separated us from the earth, I think, by making us wear sneakers all the time.
The rubber sole.
Yeah. And if we're these electric beings, with a whole bunch of small energy balls made up into a big one, we have these large chakra bodies. Like your electromagnetic aura, I believe, is about 60 feet in diameter, and I believe it's connected to magnetic center at the aurora borealis because it's all the same colors up there too. Like our chakra system has a color scheme to it from top to bottom, the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and it all corresponds to the electromagnetic energy at toroid center, at magnetic center, where the aurora borealis is. And I think that's kind of where our soul possibly or probably recycles through when we die, and then we come back and then we get maybe our individual soul energy gets to inhabit another body and has consciousness, but I don't know if that happens. I can't prove it because there's got to be something to account for having amnesia of past lives when you come into this apparent physical. It's hard to understand or come up with a finite or a definite answer, a definite truth on that. It's speculation.
What could be that we could, like, we souls could be like, how you say, we keep reincarnating, and there could be some memories that get stuck with us, So I think we are being just reshuffled again and again in the same earth. So that's why we do have some kind of memories from previous lives or some deja vu or whatever we could call telepathy, or some incident that we dreams. So it could be that we're just getting reshuffled and again, because the things we experience as a collective, it feels like we were there before we are here experiencing, and we will be experiencing in the future.
Yeah. A
Could
friend of
be.
mine,
Could be.
it's interesting if you take out the time equation. And I had got posed a question by a friend of mine who works at SpaceX, and he, I believe, knows the truth about the shape of Earth because he knows Elon Musk. He works for SpaceX. He's won
Well, it has
awards
to be
for
real because it looks so fake.
Yeah. And I was discussing with him about living in a simulation, and he said, well, if we're in a computer, then there would be no days. It would just be one day. There would only be one day. And I thought, well, you know what? If you think about it, there only is really one day. It's just the sun and the moon make us think that there's more than one day, but there isn't. If you take out the sun and moon, there's just the one total thing here. There's just one total moment without a day or a night in actuality as a computer, as if it has been turned on and it's still on, and it's just been turned on and it's in this on state without such a thing as day or night. That's just our perspective, but we're just in this on state where everything is within it, and then a part of it and running through it as part of the electricity within it. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Right. Like in other cultures, they say that our 100 years are the other creator gods is like a day.
Seconds.
So time is just a concept. Like for us in this dimension. So
exactly, and we have all of this outside stimulus causing us to feel like and think as beings that we're aging, when really we're timeless energy souls. And we can be whatever we want as long as we want, as long as our subconscious mind believes it, because we can make miracles. In the Bible, it says, miracles are when you have your subconscious and the mass subconscious, we all have an instantaneous belief based on hypnotic programming. And if we learn to hypnotically control our own subconscious minds, but by what we think is real and what we believe, then we can be like Neo in the Matrix and fly around and live forever and pick our body and stay young and do whatever. It's all about mind control. But I think
living a dream.
Yeah. Living in a dream.
This could be our consciousness, because there are possibilities. Like if in Tibetan they say the bardo, once you're in the bardo, it's like between the life and the death, not in this dimension, not in the one you're gonna be. So once you're in that conscious of bardo, you really sense that there is no time there. You are no male, you are no female, you are no animal. It's just you with the creation. So there are people who sense that and could sense that there are possibilities. And when you really get that feeling, that you are eternal, because there is no time, there is no material once you realize that light being. So, and just kill the concept of time and everything as a material, as an atom, because
a friend of mine, he's in Hollywood and Vine, and we were talking about this same subject, and he had taken DMT a couple of times, which is the DMT is the chemical that your brain produces, on birth and at death. And so he took it, and he said he went out into the universe and lost his ego, and he was totally at peace, and he was at one with the entire universe, and he knew everything all at once, and he was in complete love and warmth. And he said at that moment he was like, oh, I'm dead now. My body it's over. I went too far and I'm not coming back, and now I'm kind of here. And he really believed that he was dead in life, and had rejoined the universe, and that's how he described it, as just being immersed in the all-knowing, all love of this oneness without ego.
Wow.
So the DMT is the only dimethyltryptamine is the only substance in this world other that that if you literally don't die is the only substance that can make you in that state of mind. And that experience that your friend would have told, he cannot define it. He would have tried his best to put in the
no
words,
words.
but he cannot define it exactly, that that presence when you are in that moment, because that is eternal. There is no time. Imagine that moment when you really feel that there is no time and you are not material. So yeah, it's amazing. Life is quite mysterious, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but it all starts in your mind, though.
Yeah, that's the first tenet of Buddhism, is that all things are first born in the mind. That's their
Absolutely.
number one tenet. That's their whole foundation is based on that.
That's great. I looked around one day and I just realized I was building houses, and I realized that everything we look at is the direct result of somebody else being creative. All of it, everything from the rocks to the houses to the trees to the paper to the pencils, everything just kind of struck me. And then
yeah. And Ronald, yeah, go ahead, Jeannie.
no, it's just it brought me to the designer. Houses have designers. Someone designed that pencil. Someone designed that tree. Someone designed us all.
Well, there's
Right.
this
So I
amazing.
wanted to add something, Ronald. So speaking about the plants and all this stuff, so DMT or whatever other substances that exist that many ancient culture use for the divination, all are vegetal technology. So it's the same thing. The food, the plants can not only feed us, but they can shelter us, and they can even cure us, and they can even give us tool to really evolve with this kind of substance, or through meditation or different ways. But it's a way for your psyche to really connect to the source. You know what I mean? So the plant kingdom really had that power that people don't understand, that it's so important for us, for our living, for our well-being, for our evolution. Not the Darwin evolution, our evolution of our spirit, mind, and soul. So
And if you
I
think
love the
about,
plants.
just imagine this too. Just here's another backward lie that's been given to us is there are thousands of plants out there and things that we ought to be eating that would help us, but yet there's only like a dozen things that the Food and Drug Administration has been shoving down our throats, like broccoli, corn, rice, beans. I mean, you can name them off the top of your head. Everything is only made out of like 10 ingredients, and that's all we've been eating. Well, and it's like we've been. That's another prison of what we think, and we've been raised on a certain taste. That we won't even go outside of for the most part. I mean, it really takes fasting to cleanse your body and then go and find what really tastes like beneficial to the body and what tastes good and what real taste is.
What you crave for real. Not like French fries.
Yeah, and it's all the same stuff, just regurgitated in a certain way. It's all potatoes and corn and carrots and cheese and starches and sugar and high fructose corn syrup and hydrogenated oils mostly, and corn. Everything's like corn in different shapes.
Corn, the way we know it, would never grow again if it wasn't planted.
Yeah, I think now it's also so genetically modified that the natural food has pretty much been wiped away from any place where GMOs are.
I think so. Well, that's Monsanto.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a dozen more companies just like them doing it.
Yeah, because when Monsanto leaves, they're going to need 11 more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they're just the scapegoat, while there's other ones running in the background that nobody's even paying attention to.
Yeah, right. Ones we never even heard of.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many things that we don't know that we don't know.
Right.
Right. Gutai says one can achieve the same effect through fasting and chanting. Yeah, it's a trance. Chanting is trance, totally trance. So because again that brings in the music again.
I use my
again
own
working with the psyche. Yeah, go ahead.
Every now and then, if I don't feel good, if I get a headache, I can lay down and moan and honestly, I use that vibration to kind of calm my body, relax it, and it gets rid of my headache.
That's
So
why you do that. That's
yeah,
purposeful. Yeah.
yeah. There's a
Low
lot of,
vibration.
and I'm probably underutilizing my. I'm sure most people are. We're underutilizing all of these magical innate tools
Yeah.
we have in our body.
These little tricks that these guys could be teaching us that they do not want us to know.
Like the Tibetan rites. Honestly, you do these 5 Tibetan rites movement, and I learned them from a book called The Ancient Secret of the Fountain of Youth. And this guy went to Tibet and he learned what the monks do, and it's these 5 movements that completely uh, get your chakra system and your spine decompressed and loose and limber, and your chakras spinning together, and your electric body all functioning perfectly, so you have no electric blockages in your body. And it's so important because a lot of people, you'll see them, they walk around, their lower backs are stiff, they're walking hunched. People are now starting to get crooked necks from the cell phones. And
I have 12 screws in my neck.
Well, there's another way. Yeah. There's other things too, Ronald, such as since 2012, I've been taking colloidal silver, pure silver, with apple cider vinegar, and I can honestly tell all you guys, I haven't got even the slightest headache, migraine, anything since 2012. Never suffered one headache, sniffle, nose, colds, flu, anything. Because what it does, it takes out 670 pathogens, viruses, fungi out of your body. It just cleans your body out. And up until 1943, most medical doctors or practitioners would actually give you a big bottle of colloidal silver to take home with you to prevent you from getting the flu or colds or whatnot. But I can honestly say I haven't even had a migraine or a headache since 2012, since I've been on colloidal silver. Now, I do take it with apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I got to start reinstituting apple cider vinegar into my diet again. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I got to go get a bottle tomorrow, and I'm going to put it in my fridge and drink it every day.
I have a
bottle downstairs. Get the soft drink, brother. Don't get the concentrate. The concentrate's so taut and tough. I get the soft drinks, the organic soft drinks.
I get the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and I just drink it a shot. And I like it. I like that taste. It gives me an upset stomach a little bit. It makes me not hungry. It makes me not. It just kills my appetite. It makes me, I like ruining my appetite. Honestly, I do things now to keep from eating. Seriously, I'll do something instead of eat. I'll drink a shot of whiskey just so that it makes me feel nauseous or something like that if I have to, or whatever. Because I'd rather
just to take that feeling away.
Just to take it away and make me not want to eat.
I have not seen a doctor. I have not seen a doctor or a hospital in the last decade. I cure everything with infusion, with herbs, with garlic, with turmeric, with so everything at my hand, with cinnamon, with
those are great. Garlic, turmeric, cinnamon, those are all awesome stuff. Ginger,
honey, my own honey from my own hive. So totally organic. So that's the best way. I live all grid, fresh air, sun every day. See the sun, see the star every day. So I count all that for my positive health and psyche, because I cannot live in the middle of a city or a town. I cannot live in noise pollution. I cannot live with stress around. So I count all of that also very important for the well-being. So, and it's very important that even more than fit, as you say, Ronald, it's important to be flexible. You lose your flexibility, you are dead, man. You are old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, right?
Totally. I've been doing the Tibetan rites pretty much my whole, for the last 20 years. I used to get lower back pain because I played baseball and I would pitch and I would get muscle spasms and I'd be locked up for like 3 or 4 days. Now, if I do something and I tweak my lower back muscle where it would get locked up for days, I stand there and I do my own modified movement that totally unlocks my back based on the Tibetan rites. And in 5 minutes, my muscle spasm's gone and I keep moving about my day like nothing ever happened.
Well, speaking of garlic, going back to the garlic, there's nothing in the world better than garlic. I'll eat a whole clove of garlic, and don't think I'm gross, guys, but I'll peel the skin off the garlic and eat it raw. Because most of all you don't have to cook it. Because when you're cooking it, you want to keep all those nutrients and those special enzymes and that's great for your metabolism and just everything. And it kind of burns your mouth a little bit when you're eating it, but there's nothing better than garlic. And speaking of honey, Vika, I like to get a big jar of Jif peanut butter and take a big old spoon of peanut butter and slobber it with garlic and with a banana. So that's a meal in itself, right there.
Wow.
Banana,
Garlic,
peanut butter,
banana,
and garlic.
peanut butter.
No,
Nice.
and honey.
Just the honey, just the pure honey with lemon and with ginger. Well, in winter, it's gonna keep away all kind of cold, and even plantain. I don't know, Ronald, if you heard about this plant, plantain. It grows a lot. It's a wild weed. Oh, it's amazing. I abuse it. It's like if you drink it two times a week in autumn and all the autumn, and in winter you're gonna be free of any kind of virus.
Yeah, plantain.
Yeah, plantain.
You mean
plantain? Not the banana plant. It's a weed. It's a weed called plantain. I don't know how it's in English exactly.
Yeah. No, I don't know that one. I know the plantain, the banana. Yeah, but not the weed.
No. Yeah, it's a weed. It's a like people call it a normal weed. Like they take it out, but it's one of the most antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral plant you can find. One of them. Free.
Wow, cool. I'll look that up and get that into my kitchen.
Oh, I have a whole list of plants, of wild plants that could be used too. So,
do you grow them? You buy them? Where are you living?
Oh, I'm in Spain, but I'm not talking about plants that we to grow. We are growing the plants which grow naturally, weeds. Like you every year you have in the winter, summer, you have different weeds, wild weeds that grows around. So plantain is one of them. Stinging nettle is one of them. There's many other, but I know the name all in Latin. Scientific name of Latin. So in English, I don't remember all how they are in English. Like burdock. Then you've got muslin tea. So many different that grows wild all around. It's not only in Spain. In everywhere you get wild plants that grow around, like forage plants. You got like dandelions. The white sap of the dandelion or the wild lettuce. It's very good for the skin. So it's just so many things just grows. The wild lettuce is supposed to be a painkiller.
Yeah. The world out there has everything. I was listening to Louis C.K., the comedian, the other day, and he does this routine about how if God came back, he would really be angry at what we're consuming. He's like, "You're eating the animals? Dude, there's just plants right here. What do you need a job for? You don't need a job. You just go out and eat. Well, I need a job because I need to have food. No, you don't need food. There's food everywhere. It's all out there. Just pick it up off the ground and eat it. Stop worrying about all this stuff." It was so interesting the way he worded it, because it makes you realize that this earth that we're living on is already providing everything for us, and we don't need to have grocery stores almost. We don't need jobs. You can just walk outside, pick your fruit, and come back in and just relax.
100 years ago, we had nothing like this.
Yeah, the Industrial Revolution kind of ruined humanity.
Yeah, it's not that long of a time ago either, really.
In fact, I have been quoted to saying that the two worst inventions ever for mankind are fire and the wheel. If we didn't have either of those, we'd be a healthier, happier world.
Yep. Yeah, Carl Fletcher say if you do cook them, drink water. Drink the water of the cooked vegetable.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. See, I'm learning a lot of stuff tonight.
Me too.
And water is very important.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ronald.
It's good when we have these round tables. One of the things I've been studying a lot of Kevin Trudeau's material. He wrote a book a long time ago that made him famous called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And in one of his recent videos, he talks about masterminding. And what a mastermind is what the powers that be do. They'll get together and have a circle of 30, and they'll sit there at the Bilderberger group, and they'll get together and they'll think about stuff. Yeah. And he said what this does is all of these individual minds together create an entirely separate mind right above all of those minds. It's called a mastermind, where these incredible ideas are generated from an even higher form of intelligence. And so us getting together like this is important, because we can mastermind things. We can sometimes come up with these answers to the questions about the universe and the nature of reality. That's what we're doing. It's important.
Not a lot of people want to talk like this,
I like doing interviews because it forms a mastermind group. Even if it's just me and the interviewer, still two people is better than one, because we're asking questions. We're coming up with unique, possibly brainstorming ideas, and the more in the mastermind group, the better. The more stuff we can
Amen.
get done.
Amen, brother. Totally agree.
That's true.
So normally we do roundtables about flat Earth and everything related to flat Earth, but today we are going a little bit. But it's good. It's always, we are open for every subject, every topic, because we all learn, and it's good, as you say, a roundtable, because ideas and thoughts come in the moment when we are together, and it can really bring some information that we really didn't expect. So that's the great thing too about.
And the audience,
it is all connected.
Yeah, it's all definitely connected. One thing leads to another, and then you realize it's all about this whole connected organism that we've been trained to look at opposite the way it really is, I think. And I think your audience is gonna probably it's okay that we don't specifically stay with flat Earth, because we did discuss it. It's really about the nature of reality, but all this stuff pertains to how we're going to live our lives, what we're going to believe in, how much power we have as free living souls. That's what I call myself now, as a living soul.
Yeah, because it's important, because you could be a flat earther, but you are consuming poison and you are not seeing what you are consuming or other things. So it's important. Everything is important to know what's happening, So the same way about food, water.
It is.
About where we live, about, so.
Well, Vika, it's inevitable that they're going to continually give us sick, whether it's poison in the air, the water, the food that you eat, the crops they spray in. So it's really hard to maintain premium health. But, we have agents and natural resources like natural food and herbs that will alleviate and bring us over the top, no matter what they throw at us. But again, most people don't understand or don't want to understand what really keeps them in premium and optimal health. And but great roundtable discussion, and I think everybody can learn from each other. And like Ronald said, when you got more than one head, two heads or more, there's no telling how much valuable information we can provide for each other.
Yeah, that's why I love doing interviews overall. It's just to get everybody talking about some stuff so people can hear it, so the information can spread, so the vibrations can be picked up and received. And then who knows how it's going to affect someone might hear something that we say, and 10 years later, they've created a whole book and movie about it, or another solution that we needed, just because we helped spark that thought in that moment to make them move in that direction, and then boom, it just takes on a life of its own. So it's what we're doing is important all the time.
Well said, Ronald. Yeah, what I would like to add about the plant thing is that everything we could imagine, the plants can cure. Whatever the disease exists, and whatever the disease are going to exist in the future, or illnesses, the plants can cure. So it's very important for us to really take care of our nature and our environment, and not really poison everything. They're really spraying us with all the crap, and you can literally see, that change, what's been happening because of this spraying and all this stuff. We just hope we could really, survive this because
you know what I
they're
do?
going from every angle. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Whenever I eat, I even like today, I kind of pray to the people who are planting my food right now that they're happy people. So I'm thinking in the future, because somewhere there's something's growing right now that I'm going to eat in 6 weeks, and 40 people are going to have to touch it to get it on a truck, to get it on the road. So I kind of think about those people that I don't even know, but that are involved with my life indirectly, and I try to
Right.
pick them happy.
That's important to be sending out those positive vibes like that too, because it does get received. I've read some studies and I've watched some videos about how they recorded a person sitting in a room, two people 50 miles apart in different rooms, and they recorded their electric body, and they had one person send the loving thought to that other person, and they literally, they for real, they videoed this energy ball shoot out of their solar plexus and instantaneously enter that person 50 miles away.
Wow.
And I always keep that story in my head when if I want somebody to call me, I'll sit and think about them calling me for a couple minutes, and suddenly they'll call me.
That's
In fact,
great.
that's kind of taught me about, like, you mentioned prayer, about how you pray, and a lot of people, I think the churches didn't teach people how to pray right,
No
where they just
way.
sit there and they say some stuff. I learned through listening to Kevin Trudeau about manifestation, about how to scientifically pray, which is, the mind can't tell the difference between a thought and reality, and there
That's
is no
right.
time. If there's no light, right? We just thought about it. Taking away the sun and the moon, there really is no time. There's just whatever you can create in reality, and your subconscious mind projects it out as a reality. So I learned, basically, you sit there, you just sit in bed, lay in bed, sit down in a chair, close your eyes, and I imagine myself in the situation that I want to manifest, and I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it and I can smell it. And I also, at the same time, I smile really big and I generate this real positive, loving feeling, like I love everybody, I love the world, I love this, I love the fact that it's going to manifest. And then I do that for a couple minutes and I really let that energy build, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, and I let that thought go, with the trust that now it's out there and it's going to manifest, and I'm going to walk into that moment. And that's it.
Well,
That for me is scientific prayer, and it can manifest anything.
Well,
That's
it's a
awesome.
great point, Ronald, on that end. Think about our educational system, because they're not teaching Tesla's works, because Tesla told everybody the secrets of the universe is energy, vibration, and frequency. The electromagnetic rim, that we were all made of electricity, lightning from the sky, our bodies, our heart, our brain, everything, our organs, the main organs, were electrical impulses. So when you got people praying, feeling their frequencies, their electromagnetic frequencies 50 miles away, that's absolutely true, And that's the reason why people don't understand that this World War III that we're experiencing is the war that you cannot see. It's there. You can feel it. It's a spiritual battle between good and wickedness, and it's all around us. That's where your World War III is. But as far as that big genie out the bottle that accidentally got out the bottle was Nikola Tesla, because he knew. All these other theoretical physicists and alchemy, trying to propagate their nonsense. Tesla knew that they were full of crap. And Tesla is one of the genies because they didn't teach Tesla in schools. He wasn't in our school books.
Nah.
Mark, it's crazy how much they're hiding from us about Tesla and his things. There is, other than all his what you said, he also had things about electricity, that the electricity cures people. Okay,
Right.
the government tell us that the electric radiation is bad for the people, but one of the discoveries of Tesla was that he was putting people in these boxes with electric to cure anything, every kind of illnesses. Because as we say, we are electric, the electromagnetic field, the fruits, the vegetable, the fruits, you see the electromagnetic part of it, the electrolyte, the sugar is in it, the water, the H2O, H3O is inside it. So it's all connects. So it's very important. The electricity as you say, the is very important. We are in the electric universe, no? So we are electric. The everything we consume. So Tesla was taken out from the middle for many reasons because his magnetic energy or way of explaining the Earth is is showing that it's flat Earth. His ball lighting
Well,
experiment is flat Earth.
in
Is
in
AC
Vika, it's the
is AC
purest form of
motor
energy.
exactly the
Electricity is the
AC
purest
motor?
form.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
electromagnetic
So
energy beings,
Right.
thinking that we're human beings or having this apparently physical experience. Yeah, it's wild.
Absolutely.
And all of our senses are just receiving stuff, and it's all being transcribed in our mind, right? I guess we receive light wave. They say, and I guess the textbooks say that the light waves come in upside down into our eyes, and then we flip it right side up in our heads, and that's what we're seeing in our head. Like everything is happening, we're experiencing in our head. It's just so weird when you start trying to think that that I'm looking out and I see my hand out in front of me, but it's not really out there in front of me. It's just in my head. And that kind of puzzles me. It's so puzzling
That's
to
great.
try and rationalize
once
that.
once the electricity is gone, we are gone. That's it. When there is no electricity inside, we are done here. So that's the best part, guys. We'll be wrapping up soon, so we're gonna have our last thoughts. Mark,
Yes, sir.
yep,
Your
your
last
last
thoughts.
thoughts for the day.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure actually reconnecting with Ronald Farnham, and of course, it's always a pleasure talking with Vika and Gene and Rob, of course. And it's just creatively speaking. I think this was one of the most useful talks that I've been part of in a very long time. Because we usually talk about
Excellent.
flat Earth a lot. But as you know, Vika, you might know this, but Ronald actually hosted a show on Ferret Radio for a little while, but Ronald's got so much knowledge, and I'm just so grateful and blessed that we've been able to reconnect with Ronald, and also that Ronald's safe. Because Ronald and I had some talks where he was trying to stay away from everybody at the time, and Ronald, I'm just thank God, good Lord, that you're safe and happy. You look
Yeah,
very
just know,
healthy, and
Rob,
thank you.
thanks. Because that wasn't a personal thing. I just had to totally compartmentalize what I was doing because I suddenly was being bombarded by more than I could handle. And I had
Sure.
to kind of step out of a whole bunch of different things and just settle into what I'm doing. I'm in the middle of editing a movie, and that's taking up so much of my time that I really had to I don't know. I turned off my phone a lot. I've been keeping it off too because it just never stops going off, and I have to choose what I want to take time for.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure, though, guys. And thank you so much for having me, Vika. We
Hey,
until we meet again, man. And you guys have a tremendous night and a great weekend. And stay and believe me, as far as eating habits and stuff, I have a weakness as Rob does as well. I do eat a little meat. I don't eat pork, but very little. But I am finding myself eating more and more vegetables and garlic. I'm always stinking. That garlic comes through your pores, so I'm always eating a lot of garlic and
Keep the
turmeric,
vampires away.
turmeric, brothers. Turmeric is amazing. If there exists a magic herb, that's turmeric, internal or external.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. But thank you guys. Much love and have a great night and talk soon to everybody.
Good to hear
Thank
you.
you, Mark. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you,
Hit me
brother,
up.
for inviting me.
Well, I think we can do something again. All right.
Ronald, look
Sure,
forward to
sure.
it, brother.
All right, man.
Jeannie, last words.
Guys, I'm trying to absorb everything that just happened. It was a great night. Vika, thanks for having me. Mark, great to see you. Rob, how you doing, brother? I think he left. Ronald, it was really great to meet you. It was a great conversation. I wanted to add to the fasting thing. It reminded me of the Tartarians, the mud flood thing that's getting popular now.
Yeah, I almost mentioned that.
Well, these Tartarian buildings didn't have any plumbing. They didn't seem to have any bathrooms or anything like that. I found it kind of interesting if there's any kind of connection to maybe those people didn't eat it all.
Yeah, these Tartarian buildings that they're finding, I watched a 5-hour video about it, and the fact seems to be that those weren't really dwellings, that they were part of an electromagnetic grid system that resonated free energy throughout the earth. And then they all got decommissioned and turned into churches and mosques and temples. And religion was created to distract us from the fact that we had free energy tool right in front of our faces.
And the churches, those pipe organs are probably healing centers.
Yes,
with the vibrational heal, vibrational healing, and there's no way that people in horse and buggy built these buildings. Some of them, it's just.
But that's why the people feel so good even when they go to a church or a temple, because what's the energy that flows there? That's why you feel so at peace. But you're not feeling peace because of some other context, you know. So it's
so
amazing. Jeannie,
Jeannie,
thanks for joining, brother.
All right.
For sure, we can go on for 2 hours, but we already passed 10 minutes and that, but we would continue for the next one. Ronald, thank you so much, brother, for coming. It was such a pleasure to have you. People, do check out his books, his movie. Where can we find people can find your stuff, Ronald? If you want to give a shout out about your page, your show, your books.
You can find Hollywood and Vine right now on Amazon Prime. Rented for 99 cents. It's a story of the Messiah, helping save the world from the forces of evil. And then my books are on Amazon. The Solution, an instruction manual for sovereignty and freedom. The Second Coming of the Messiah. Book 1, The Awakening, about how the Messiah becomes the Messiah. And then I have a couple of other books. Hollywood and Vine, I turned into a book also. And How to Write a Screenplay in 30 Days or Less. If you're interested in learning how to write a screenplay, turn it into a published book, and then going ahead and making it as your movie, that book gives the instructions on how to do that. But the most important book is The Solution, an instruction manual. So I just want everybody to be free. Even if you get the Kindle for $5.99 or whatever, just email me for the documents, because if this sweeps the world, then we will have won. Is the solution. If everyone takes control of their birth bond, then they don't have to join the military. And if they become sovereign, then nobody's children is going to be forced to go to Department of Education schools or even adhere to anything the federal government tries to press on them. So that's where I want to go with all this. That's my bottom line, is for that to go worldwide. I almost said global. Ugh.
You almost. That's awesome, Ronald. People, do sure check out his books. We all need to get freedom from this slave system, and this book could help in that. Ronald, we know we could continue for hours, and we have amazing things to talk, and you're welcome for any time for the shows when you are available, and it was really a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Thank you very much. I had a great time. You guys are great hosts. I appreciate it. I'll definitely come back again.
Thank you. Can't wait.
Thank you, brother. So thank you guys for tuning in, man. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. And make sure you check us on Sunday, because we have an amazing show. We have our submarine guy from the Flat and the Curve documentary who's going to be joining us for the show on Sunday, and his experience in the Flat and the Curve and his personal experience. So don't miss this out, guys. Thank you for joining. From YouTube, from Facebook, from RTS. And this is Vikka Draziv signing off from HelioPychosis Podcast Live. Bye, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.